The cure for what ails us can be found in the kitchen. It's a place where we restore connections as a community and strengthen bonds with family and friends. It's also a place where we teach our children life-giving skills while enriching and nourishing our bodies. And for these reasons, many are bought genetically modified foods. And in our case, the Plant Breeders Bill. The bill currently before Parliament, when passed, will allow for the full introduction of genetically modified food into our homes, specifically into our kitchen. How this changes nutrition, health, and diet, we'll find out in this episode of Talking Homes. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano, and I talk homes.
Talking Homes is an association with GKP Limited.
If you just tuned in, you're watching Talking Homes. In this episode, we are discussing genetically modified organisms or foods. And that explains why we are in the home of Mrs. Patience Akwa Harrison. We'll speak to her about what she thinks about genetically modified foods. Thank you very much, Mrs. Akwa Harrison, for letting us into your kitchen. I see you have love for vegetables.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. And you have all these the vegetables have made your kitchen really, really nice. I love the color it's given. Mm-hmm. But when you're buying these vegetables, what do you look out for?
I look out for the freshness. I look out for the one I think hasn't contained much chemicals, fertilizer.
How are you able to tell that?
Oh, some of them are too huge, big. I won't go for a very big, long cucumber, but because normally I feel that maybe it's too much fertilizer. That's why it's grown so fast and big. So I will pick the medium-sized ones.
I'm happy you've spoken about fertilizer. Usually when it comes to really huge-looking vegetables, especially, for me, what comes to mind is genetically modified food. What do you know about them?
Well, I think if you talk of genetically modified food or whatever it is, living cells have genes. It means that somebody is tampering with the genes of a crop and trying to put it into another one to improve the quality or something.
Is that a bad thing as far as you're concerned?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. So far as it doesn't give any adverse effect.
But people have complained so much about the fact that even Ghana wants to adopt fully GMOs. Does it concern you?
Well, I'm not really concerned about GM food because I don't see any harm in it. I'm much more concerned with the chemicals and the additives that we add to the food. That is our problem, not the GM.
And so usually when you buy vegetables from the market, or you've been able to identify the medium-sized ones and the smaller ones from the overfed ones, the fertilizer overfed ones, and then you come to your kitchen, what do you do with it?
I clean it by soaking it. Well, first I wash it all off, like I've done for this. And then I soak it in water for a while, just to make sure some of the chemicals that I think the insecticides that they use, especially when the cabbage is so clean, it means that maybe they've sprayed it so much that the insects don't come. So, so I soak it for a while to leach it out.
That's one trick. When you're going to buy the cabbage and it's too clean, it could be too much insecticide.
Maybe that's what I feel.
So when you're washing, what do you wash with? Do you wash with any special?
Oh, I just use a cooking salt because that's the cheapest antibiotic or whatever.
Okay, so with the issue of GMO, I mean, there's a bill in Parliament now. The bill is looking forward to fully introducing GM foods. It's going to protect the right of those who tamper with the genes of the seeds. But one thing that is not clear is when it comes to labeling of those foods that may be organic or those that may be GM. What are your concerns with it?
I haven't seen any food that I buy with genetically modified on it. I've rather seen organic and inorganic application of fertilizer or something. So far as I'm concerned, GM doesn't cause any harm.
So let's look at this way. When you're going to buy and there is organic on it or inorganic on it, what's your understanding of that?
Organic means they use natural fertilizer, and the inorganic, they use chemical fertilizer. So
And
it's the chemicals that affect the system, not the natural fertilizer like the chicken droppings and other.
does Ghana need GM in the country? We are told that it would help with crop yield during harvest. We are told that it also means that the pesticides we've spoken about, the pests we've spoken about, will not be able to affect the crop, and so eventually you have higher yields. But we over here, it's not like we are hungry. Our problem rather has been with harvest. I mean, that's the argument right now. Do we need it right now?
Well, maybe in your area, or some people may not be hungry and they don't need much food, but other people elsewhere, I'm sure in this country, don't even have 1 square meal a day, so they are hungry and we need to produce more food. But the problem too is the post-harvest loss. If GM can control post-harvest loss, then that should be good. Then the farmers won't apply chemicals to preserve it. You see, the olden days, they use smoke. They put it on a barn and they put fire under so that the smoke keeps the weevils off. I don't know whether they are doing it now. The Ministry of Agriculture.
I'm sure they'll say the smoke will cause cancer, so they won't do it.
No,
but
it
I
doesn't
don't
get
myself.
into the crop because they don't, let's say the corn, they don't take the husk off. It is put there like that with the husk. So the smoke won't affect it. I don't think it is.
For the farmer.
Yes.
They're inhaling it directly.
No, the farmer is not there.
Okay.
It's for the crop that they put up there, the harvest maize or whatever, or even the yam. They tied it on the barn so that the rodents don't go and eat it. It's all preservation methods.
Can our farmers take all of the terms and conditions, let me put it that way, that come with the use of genetically modified seeds? For instance, we understand that if you're using a particular seed, you have to be paying royalties to the engineer of that particular seed. Do our farmers have that understanding yet?
I don't know. Then the Ministry of Agri should do their homework properly and educate the farmers so that they know what they are in for. Otherwise, without that, I don't think the farmers will benefit anything from it.
Because over time, they have told us that our farmers are not as literate as we wish them to be, but and we want to introduce this to them.
The extension officers should educate them. They should explain. They should call them to school and explain to them. I don't know whether these days the extension officers do go out to teach the farmers exactly what they do. If they do, some of them will learn.
What do you do when you go out to eat? What do you look out for?
I look out for...
When it comes to vegetables especially.
The vegetables. When I'm out eating, somebody invites me to eat or I go to the restaurant, I don't eat raw vegetables.
Why not?
Because I don't know where it's coming from, how it's been prepared. So I'm just skeptical about eating other people's vegetables.
So what would you rather do? What would you rather...
If I go out?
Yes, what do you prefer? How do you want the vegetable when you go out?
Slightly cooked, just as I do at home, because naturally too, I don't digest raw vegetables like that. Okay. I have to steam it a bit.
So this is frozen stuff. Where is it coming from? This is frozen strawberries.
Strawberry. It's supposed to be coming from Egypt.
Egypt?
Yeah.
And so as it's
Egypt, according to the Egyptian standards specification.
I see. But then it doesn't tell whether it's GMO or not.
No, there's nothing like that.
So for frozen stuff like this, you trust that there is no much fertilizer on it, excess residue on it?
Well, that's what they are telling us here.
So
Standard specification. So we take their word for it.
Absolutely. But this smells very, very good. So when you get the frozen stuff like this, how do you eat it? You wash it again?
No,
you don't.
This one is already clean.
You trust the cleaning?
Well, it's frozen all this while. Otherwise, they won't package it like that. Anything packaged like this is already clean.
Should we look at passing the Plant Breeders Bill, which would help us as a country fully come to terms with genetically modified foods?
They can go ahead and do it because the rice that they are importing, how do we know whether it's GM or not?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure a lot of people go and buy it and they don't think about it.
They haven't put on it whether it's GM or organic product or anything. So we may be eating all this GM all this while. So why are we preventing ourselves from producing it so that we know the source?
So for you, the biggest thing is the fertilizer. We should check it. Absolutely. We've been talking to Mrs. Patience Akwa Harrison. She's a mother, she's a family woman, and she's been telling us her perspective of genetically modified food. For her, it's important we check the residues on our fertilizer rather than, try and fight genetically modified foods. If it's going to help us, why not? It's a good thing. We can do it. You're watching Talking Homes. Keep watching. I'll be right back.
Talking Homes is an association with GKP Limited.
If you just tuned in, you're watching Talking Homes, and in this episode we are discussing genetically modified foods. Ghana is currently conducting a confined testing of some genetically modified organisms, including BT cowpea, including cotton, rice, and sweet potatoes. While you may be able to control what goes into your kitchen, whether it's organic or GMO, you may not be able to do so when you're eating out. What are you feeding your family when you eat out is the reason we're at Alisa, and we'll talk to Chef Nikolaos Koulousias, who's a Greek chef here at the hotel. What is the chef's perspective when it comes to cooking for people who come in here to eat? Thank you very much, Chef.
Hi, welcome.
For joining us. What are you
How
cooking?
are you? We are cooking some vegetables, fresh vegetables.
Let me take a guess. Everything here is organic?
Supposed to be, yes.
I like a lot of food, but it comes down to what I'm eating. As a chef, what do you think about GMOs?
Okay, GMOs, we will find it everywhere, so it doesn't matter. You cannot control it till now. You cannot control it, the GMOs, because just take the convenience, for example, okay, or take it the seasons. Out of the seasons, supposed to be GMOs, because when I need tomatoes, I can have tomatoes all the year. Yes, but from where comes the tomatoes? Okay, so they put the injections inside, they grow up the tomatoes and they send it to me. It's very difficult to control this till now, but we are trying, like chefs, and to talk with our suppliers as well, to start to make a greenhouse. So when they have the greenhouse, obviously the ministry, they have to help us, the chefs as well, to give them a certificate, so every supplier have to come to supply us with the certificate, so I can prove that my guests have.
One of the concerns for some people who may want to go organic is the fact that, can I avoid GMOs?
You cannot, because what's happened, you cannot go out on the restaurant, for example, and to ask, is it GMO or is it organic? Supposed to be organic. Everybody will say to you, yes, it's organic, but in the end, is it not? Because to be honest, the most products of, especially here in Ghana, they are important. I don't know what they are growing up in, for example, in South Africa, how they're growing up. Me, I cannot go there to show the farms. So me, in the Alisa hotel and in my kitchen, we're supposed to have to go in ourselves to the farms to see from where comes the products. And really 100% I can say to you that our fresh products is GMO free.
People are also concerned about the taste of the food. If you're consuming genetically engineered food, does it, say tomato, does it taste different from an organic tomato?
Obviously, because the GMO tomatoes, which I give them the injection to get the color and to get it, you will feel it. You will not they will not taste bitter or something else, but you will say that, is it not a fresh tomato like I have it from my garden? Because to be honest, when you take it from the garden and you bite on it, so there comes the juice out and there comes you feel it's tomato, even the smell.
And so does it change the taste of foods or recipes you have known for a very long time?
No, that doesn't matter about the taste. It's matter about the health. Because
Is it that bad, even health-wise? So I can come in here with my family and eat and not care about whether it's GMO or organic and not bother about my health as well.
yeah, okay, but my question as a chef is how you will taste it, how we will prove it that it's not GMO. Obviously, when I go out with my family as well, obviously I want a healthy food to eat, but in the end we don't know what is behind, what is in the background. We don't know.
Okay, then once the country passes the plant breeders bill, one of the things will be that there is no stopping for GMOs coming into the country, unlike Europe where we understand it's been banned. Once we pass the plant breeders bill, there is no stopping for us here. But nobody's spoken about labeling. What are your concerns about that?
During my period as a chef, I can say that some products which is not labeled and it's no name are much better than the labeled one. Because what you are doing in the end is you are paying the labeling. It's everywhere is the same. It's not only about in the food or in the cans what you have.